Hello, I'm Priyanka. Welcome to the series of UiPath Orchestrator API using Orchestrator HTTP request activity. In the last video, we have seen that how we can run the job from our studio by invoking Orchestrator API with the help of Orchestrator HTTP request activity. In this video, we're going to create the asset on our orchestrator. Also, we'll get all the asset details that are available on our orchestrator using orchestrator API. So you might have created the asset or you might have get the asset details by login to UiPath orchestrator, right? But if I can tell you, we can also create the asset or we can get the asset details from Studio itself. Wondering, right? So I'll tell you how we can do that. So this is possible with the help of Orchestrator API and that we are calling from the studio by using Orchestrator HTTP request activity. So to call an API, we'll be needing an endpoint. So I'll tell you how we can access that endpoint and how we can create and get the asset data. But before moving ahead, we need to make sure that we have done all the configuration settings that I have shown you in my earlier video, which is a part 2 of the series. In that video, I have shown you how we can assign the role to user to access orchestrator data because we need to provide some additional permission to access orchestrator component if we are using orchestrator HTTP request activity. So without any further delay, let's go ahead and see how we can create the asset from Studio. I'm referring this document to get the endpoint to create the asset on our orchestrator. So to create the asset, this will be our request call to orchestrator API. And in this API, we'll be able to see that a HTTP method is post, and this will be our relative endpoint. So this API call is saying that it will create a new asset and the value type can be text, boolean, integer, or credential. As I've already told you, if we are using orchestrator HTTP request activity, we don't need any authorization or we don't need to pass any tenant name and the folder ID as our orchestrator is already connected to the robot. If we can see here, we need to provide some data in a body section, which is a name of asset, which is a scope of asset, type of asset, and the value of asset. So this we need to pass to this API to create an asset. So let's go ahead and create a workflow in which we will create a asset on orchestrator. So I've created the process for the same, and in this process, I'll simply drag the sequence for creating asset, and I'll name it as a create asset. Inside this sequence, I'll simply drag orchestrator HTTP request activity as we are creating an asset. So the HTTP method is post. So I'll simply select it from a drop down. Then I'll copy paste the relative endpoint inside a double quote as we have to provide the value as a string. And I need to provide the body to the JSON payload. But if you can see here, this body is in a JSON format, which is a key value pair. And if you can see here, JSON payload accepts the value in a string format. So basically we need to convert this JSON format into a string, right? So then how we can do that? So I'll quickly show you by copying this into a notepad. So to convert this JSON data into a string format, first we need to remove the double quotes for the key. And we need to replace double quotes with a single quote for the value. as a JSON payload accepting a string value, so it should be in a single line. So this is how we can provide an input to the JSON payload. So let's give it in a double quotation. So let me create a JSON response that will give a response after creation of a set, and this JSON response will be in a JSON format. So to deserialize JSON, we'll be needing a deserialize JSON activity, and input to this activity is the response data item, which is the output of this activity. And let's create a JSON object called asset data. Okay, and we'll simply print the asset data with the help of writeLine activity dot toString. Now let's go ahead and see whether it is creating a set or not. If we can see here, our execution has been completed and our asset got created on our orchestrator. So let's go ahead and see these detail under our orchestrator. Okay. So here is the detail that we have just created under our asset sections. So to make it a more dynamic, we can also ask a user to enter a name and the value of asset. So let's try to do that. So what I'll do here, I'll simply ask a user by prompting it enter asset name, and I'll store the input in asset name data item. I'll ask user to enter the asset value, and I'll store the result entered by user in asset value data item. So now we have a asset name and asset value entered by user inside the asset name and asset value data item. So let's give this input to this API, by replacing this value. So I don't want this default value. So I'll just replace this default value with my data item. So to do that, I'll simply enclose that data item within double quotation, then with plus sign and my asset name. And I'll replace the asset value with my asset value data item. And it's done. So let's go ahead and run this workflow and generate our user entered asset. So it is prompting me to enter the asset name. So I'll enter, let's say, name. And the value for the name is, let's say, Priyanka. If we can see the output, it will show us the asset name, which is name, and the value Priyanka. So let's go ahead and see the same on our orchestrator. As you can see here, the asset name has been created. Similarly, we can also allow user to enter a type, and accordingly it will create the asset of that type. Now we have seen how we can create the asset with the help of orchestrator HTTP request activity from Studio, right? So let's go ahead and see how we can get all the asset details available on our orchestrator. So to get the details of all the assets available, we can use this endpoint get asset get all. So this endpoint will provide all the asset available to us. So HTTP method for this API call will be get, And this will be our relative endpoint. We don't need to provide any bearer token for authorization, or we don't need to provide any tenant name or folder ID, as our orchestrator is already connected to our robot. So it will automatically fetch the respective details. So let's go ahead and create a sequence to get all the details available on our orchestrator. So simply I'll collapse this sequence and I'll drag one more sequence to get all asset. Inside this sequence, I'll drag orchestrator HTTP request activity. The method for this API call will be get. Then I need to provide this as an endpoint enclosed within quotation. And as we are getting the details, so we don't need to mention anything in a JSON payload. The JSON payload is needed when we are uh, calling a post method, and we need to pass some additional data to the API. So this activity will call this endpoint and will provide me the asset data in a JSON format. So I need to create the variable to store that data. So let's say response, and this response will be in a JSON format. To parse the JSON data, I need deserialize JSON activity, and I need to provide the input. Then I need to create a JSON object. Let's say asset details, and simply I can print these details with the help of writeline activity. Dot toString. So simply I'll run this workflow. So it will again ask me to enter a asset name to create. So this time I'll enter, let's say, address, and I'll enter Pune. And now it will provide me all the asset details in my output section. So as you can see here, I have a 3 asset under my orchestrator that we have created. Okay, so let's verify this detail by going to orchestrator, and if we could refresh, yeah, we could see the recently created asset, and we got all these 3 asset in our output. So that's all for today. In this video, we have seen that how we can create the asset entered by user. Also, we have seen that how we can get the details of asset available on our orchestrator with the help of orchestrator API from the studio. In the next video, we'll see how we can create the queue, and also we'll see how we can get the queue details available on our orchestrator with the help of orchestrator HTTP request activity. So till then, stay tuned with me. Happy learning. Thank you.